What's up, mother truckers? So subscribe to this channel. All I gotta say is, if you're thinking about a career in trucking, and you're worried about whatever the recruiter, whatever the company is telling you is a lie, and you're not sure to jump the gun, then watch and subscribe to this information because we're gonna give you insider interviews from the people that are actually working that job to see if that job is right for you. All right, I'm here to save you time and money, baby. So subscribe. Appreciate it. Let's get ready for this interview. Let's go. What is going on, mother truckers? Welcome to the Asian My Show. Today we have a special guest. We have Mike from Ratko Transport. How are you doing today, sir?
I am splendid. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. And the conversations we had off the line, they were great, and I'm just so excited for this interview because a lot of people can use this to get to the next level in trucking. So I appreciate you for being on the Asian My Show.
My pleasure. Yeah, I'm glad to help. Ask away, and I'll answer to the best of my ability.
All right. So before we even get into this, I gotta give Mike some shine. So I'm showing your channel right now, Ratko Transport. As you guys can see, we got a little bit of subs on your channel. You're giving good content, but we need a little bit more. So all you mother truckers out there, subscribe to Ratko Transport if you want to know the insider game on being an owner operator, because we're gonna get into it today. I'm gonna ask you some tough questions, brother, and hopefully you can answer them.
Fire away. Yeah, fire away, man.
I love it. I love it. So first off, before we can even get into this, I need all the subscribers to know how much experience in trucking do you have, sir?
Well, our family started trucking in the early '90s. Um, my old man, my uncles. I mean, pretty much a lot of my family is in trucking still to this day. I got my CDL when I was 18.
Wow.
Um, and I'm 35 years old now, and I think I've worked as a company driver for a total of maybe a couple of months. So all that time since I've been trucking, I've been an independent contractor where I own my own truck, and then I've picked up the trailers. We've been primarily a reefer fleet, um, but I've gotten this year. I decided to go into dry van, give that a shot, just because of the way the markets were fluctuating. I thought that maybe this year I'd do a little better, or at least the same as I did with the reefer, hauling the dry vans. To better yourself. Um, the safest way,
Right.
uh,
Tell
y-
me.
you
Tell
know,
me.
the well, the way, just like in any business, more risk, more potential reward, but
Right.
also you're open to more potential loss and bankruptcy, essentially. So, if you're not working with a lot of cash and you really want to be an owner operator, you think you're an experienced driver and you think you're ready for it, you want to do it. The absolute safest way is find a ma pa company
Hmm.
that maybe is running 50 trucks and see if you can buy a truck from them.
Hmm. That's good advice.
And then because what they'll do is they'll sell you, and it's not going to be a fleece purchase program like the mega carriers do. I mean, this is going to be an actual straight up, simple interest loan. And there are companies out there they still do it. They'll because what you want to do is if you don't have a lot of money,
Right.
you want to have the safety net of first, you want to have the safety net of freight, and then you want to have the safety net of if your equipment breaks down, they'll loan you the money, or they'll help you
Right.
to get your truck back on the road while you're learning the owner operator thing, because there's going to be that's a new kind of a experience in its own, because you never really thought about tires, oil changes, and this and that, and and the IFTAs, and so you're learning a lot of there's a lot of new things coming at you
Right.
that you haven't really
Other mother truckers on here can understand what is a glider kit.
a glider kit is basically a manufacturer built truck with a pre-emissions engine in it. In order for it to be classified as a glider kit, I think you have to have at least two things in it that are remanufactured. So it could be engine, transmission, engine rear ends. Um, the number one thing you're guaranteed to get remanufactured is the engine, because that's the whole point of getting the glider kit, is that you want a new truck, a new cab, new frame, new electrical systems, a remanufactured engine, which is not the same thing as a rebuilt engine. A reman engine, everything on it is brand new except for the block. A
Ah,
rebuilt engine is something that you're just getting piston sleeves, bearings, the front.
I appreciate that. So here's the big question, Mike, that a lot of other truckers be asking me. Hey Alex, I bought my truck now. I got all my numbers. I'm ready. I got my own authority. Where the heck do I get the loads? So can you explain that? Where do I go? I got my own truck now. What do I do? How do I make any money?
Right. Well, there's several ways. The most common two ways that everybody in the spot market.
What is that? I'm
Um,
gonna ask the dumb question. What is the spot market for people that don't know?
sure, a spot market is a place. Initially, that's what it was intended to be. Was a place where um, uh, big carriers like Landstar, and all your um, even Prime and stuff like that. What if the freight that they can't cover
Right.
is where that freight usually ends up. For um, their people that are not affiliated with Prime or Landstar, that they can are independent contractors. And since that morphed into now you have companies, 3PL companies like Robinson and TQL that are not asset-based companies, which means that they don't have any trucks. That's all they do is broker freight. Now they are majority of the spot market. You know, so spot in a nutshell, a spot market is where all the non-contracted freight goes,
I gotcha.
or a freight that is contracted to a company that decides that they don't have a truck to cover it, or they don't want to put it on their truck. They'll put it on the spot market, or basically a market where independent contractors kind of
So let me
you
ask you
know
this then, Mike. It sounds like if I was a big
non-asset-based brokerages. A lot of that freight has now gone to contract carriers
uh-oh.
with assets. So now we're over capacity, which means we have more trucks on the spot market than we have freight, which really
That
drove the
doesn't sound
rates
good.
down.
That
Yeah,
doesn't
no,
sound good.
the rates are really low, and freight is kind of hard to get by. So if you're like one of those guys that's thinking about getting into this next week, you're definitely might be better off. I mean, I would at least at the minimum, um, Truck Stop and DAT have their cheap plans that are like $30 a month. Just subscribe to those load boards, and just start calling on freight. So you kind of know what a lot of guys will ask for your MC number, which you probably won't have. That's fine. Just tell them, hey, I'm trying to get into this deal here and trying to buy a truck. I'm just trying to figure out what this lane, what you guys are paying, what kind of money's in this thing, so I can make the right decision. And they'll tell you. Just call on the rates. Call on the lanes you think you'd like to run, and just call and get some numbers. What kind of money's out there right now. And then next call you should make is your insurance agent.
I heard
And then
that.
and then you sit down and okay, is this worth it right now for me? Is this something I want to do? Or should I go work with Ma Pod that does have contract? Because a lot of these guys, they'll have decent dedicated freight
Right.
that might not be your $3 or $5 a mile type of deal, but
Right.
it's a steady $2 a mile, steady $2.50 a mile with fuel surcharge. It's steady freight that will be there every week for you. You'll have the safety net of them helping you out with repairs, and they're handling your IFTAs, and they're so you can concentrate on learning on learning how to own your own equipment, and how all that works. That might be a better way to go for you. for me personally, if you're thinking about, you know, going into a lot of debt because you think, you're gonna, unless, now again, this is, I'm talking from a perspective of dry van and reefer freight.
Right.
There's a lot of other things, RGN, your other specialized equipment stuff, your bottles, the tankers. If you got hazmat, you know, I mean, oil fields in Texas, and they're dependent on their economy also. Can go into, like, if you go log into Truck Stop or that and look at who's posting freight.
Right.
A lot of the bigger companies like Landstar, C.H. Robinson, TQL, Coyote, all those guys, CR England, they will, before they put their freight on Truck Stop and DAT, they will first put that load on their load board, because all these big
Ah.
guys will have their own load board, where they will, where you can sign up as a carrier for them. You don't run under their authority or their plates.
Right.
You're just simply creating an account with them. You're giving them your insurance information. You're setting up with them, and they'll give you login information for their load board. Like C.H. Robinson, for example, is a big one. So you can go on there directly instead of going through, like, the wait until it hits Truck Stop or that. You can
Right.
go on their site directly and get that load before it even hits, because I think a day before the load, say there's a load on there and it doesn't load for, for 3 days.
Right.
Well, it's going to stay on their website and not hit the Truck Stop or the DAT until the day before it's got a load. And then it will hit
Ah.
Truck Stop. But if you're signed up with them,
Right. Right. Right.
then you're kind of trying to plan ahead. Well, that's, you just go on their individual. It's a little bit involved, because Truck Stop, everything's consolidated into one, or that, and then it's all there. But if you're willing, to do extra work, to sign up with these guys individually and then go on their load boards, potentially that means more money for you.
I love
Because
that.
you're getting, yeah, because you're getting the jump basically on all the freight before it hits the main boards, and your truck is covered. And if you're in the hard area where there's lack of loads, then you really want to do that. Because if you can get something, if you get a head jump on 30 guys that are waiting on a load to show up on DAT or Truck Stop, if you can snag it away before they get it, you got a leg up. You made more money. So.
So okay, so wait up. I'm too excited about this now. Are you exposing the owner operators? Are people gonna hate you, Mike? Should I blur out your name? That you gave up this information. That you gave up this information. That if you want to get the best loads first, that they put them on their own load boards first. And it sounds like every company has their own load board, right? So Landstar probably has their own load board. CR England
Yes,
has
they
their
do.
own. So
Yes, they do.
if you're a new driver, can you just sign up and make an account, or do you have to prove to them a little bit that you can get the job done? So what are
Well,
your thoughts?
that depends on a lot of these guys. If you just got your DOT number, if you just now got your MC number, I'll be honest with you. I think there's only few. Like, I think Robinson will take you. You're going to be hauling cheap freight for a little bit, for at least 6 months, I think.
Okay.
Or I think with Landstar, it might even be a year before they want you to be in business for a year before they'll
Okay.
sign up. So your first year is not going to be any fun.
Okay.
Um,
So let's get
and
that
that's where
straight,
you.
people. Your first year, you are going to be using the DAT board and the any load board that you could get on, so that you could get your experience and get more credibility under your number. Is that right?
Right. What they're looking for is they want to make sure you can survive the first year, because when you're hauling for like Landstar, for example,
Right.
they're really greedy with their customers. They want to make sure that they provide the best service. They don't want to book a truck on a load with their valued customer that is not going to show up, or doesn't have
Right.
safe equipment, or has a really bad safety rating, or what I mean. That's going. It's a lot of research. The worst thing you can do is just blindly go buy a truck, jump into this, because you see your neighbor that's an owner operator and been doing it for 30 years, living good, and you know what I mean, because you're not going to be on that level.
I understand.
And
Love it. I love it.
you know what I mean. So what I love about your channel is the fact that I wish there was something like that out when I started out, or when my folks started out.
Right.
Where there was a kind of a consortium of of people that do different things, and can share their different experiences, and tips and tricks and stuff. I mean, it would have made things so much easier. I could have avoided so many painful mistakes. My old man. You know what I mean? So
Thank you so much,
I
brother.
really,
I really
yeah,
appreciate you for
I
saying that.
I appreciate you being out there. You're definitely helping. I enjoy listening to you. It's fun, man. It's fun to.
I'll pay you later.
Uh,
I'll pay you later. I'll pay you later.
so great job, man. I mean, so
So our next interview, you think we could give some tips on negotiation? What do you think? I think that'd be a great video if we could get to that. On the next one.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Anything you need, any question that maybe your listeners will send you, just write them down. You know how to get a hold of me. If I can answer it, I will. I don't care. People can be upset. I'll share. I mean, like I said, I've owned a freight brokerage before. I've worked as a 3PL agent. I mean, I've worked as a dispatcher of a company with 100 plus trucks. I know I made it a point. I wanted to experience every aspect of the business. And I'm trucking now because I'm addicted to the road.